What's up, motherfuckers?
Hey guys.
Nelson, say hi.
Hi. Nelson didn't want to be in the video.
Yeah, so.
Because he doesn't want to be famous.
Yeah, it's a hard life being famous.
Apparently we're famous.
So, Jack, and I only spend the weekends or try to spend the weekends down here with Jack and these guys on the beach. And I do less, well, I thought I did less work here, but clearly I'm doing a lot of work because we did a ton of videos.
Different kind of work.
Yeah. So, what the fuck were you talking about?
We were going to talk about, looking at like small samples of data.
Someone posted in the Honest Dropshippers group, link in the description, motherfuckers, who is not part of it. And so someone was like, their sales went down this week from last week.
They made a change in their SKU grid settings, and that was the only thing that they had changed, and they had less sales this week than last week.
Right. And Jack's comment was like, that's too small of a time frame to make a judgment on why your sales went down. And then someone came and commented and said that's bad advice. Now, I could go on Facebook and check who the fuck that was, and I usually do that type of shit, but I'm not in the mood at the very moment. But whoever the fuck said it's bad advice, please let me know why. But let me kind of like put things into perspective, right? So like when I first started to dropship, I just wanted to get one sale a week. Like
That's a good goal. That's achievable.
Right. Like I remember making my first $3 and then I was like, oh fuck, if I can make this 1,000 times, I'll have $3,000. Right? So like I remember when I first started dropship, I wanted to make one sale a week. And then I was like, I want to make one sale a day. And then when I got there, I was like, let me try to make 5 sales a day. And then I tried to get to 10 a day and 20 a day, blah, blah, blah. Until I got to 130 something sales a day. That's the most sales I ever got in one day. But that's not
too much.
Right. But when you just start to drop ship, you tend to be so anal about what's happening. First of all, okay, let me not speak about some arbitrary motherfucker out there. Let me speak about me. When I first started to drop ship, it was like the first time I made money online. Yeah, the stop button is in my face. It was the first time I made money online. And I couldn't believe it, right? It took me like 3 years to believe I was making money online, to be honest. And like I was always waiting for the time where shit is gonna stop. And because I was waiting for shit to stop, I was paranoid about, I would check like, if I got 10 sales today, and I get 7 sales a day after, I'd be like, what the fuck
what did I do?
Right? And then I'd be like, fuck, if I get 50 sales this week, and then the week after I got 20 sales, I'd be like, what the fuck did I do wrong? And Jack, I want you to say, so I'll say my piece, but I want you to say why. But a lot of times, a week is not enough time to figure out, like, if you have a small account, if you have a small account and you want the best items possible, I could see you pruning items that don't catch momentum just because you're working with, let's say, 20 listings or 50 listings. But if you have a big enough account, there's no way a week is too small. I don't even prune every week. I try to prune like every 2 weeks, every month, right? More every month. But Jack, why would you say a week is too little? Like, you said that, why?
Yeah, well, it's because, in dropshipping in general, the industry is really rampant with a bunch of people who have, causation is not, and correlation are different things.
Right.
Like, I could take a shower today, this is the metaphor I used in the comment, I could take a shower today, and then it rained, right? So, what most dropshippers do is then they're like, oh, okay, that means every time that I take a shower, it's gonna rain. Like, that's not how it works. You have to make sure that you have enough data, and even then, you have to know that you can never know for sure.
Yeah.
So, we're not saying it's impossible to make a conclusion based on a week of data. It's just that chances are, like, if you had,
because you can make an argument for anything.
Yeah.
Because we could say a week ago or 10 days ago was the 15th and people got paid, and that's why people got more money. And then we could say if we wait 5 more days, the 30th will pass and people get paid again. And then you could say maybe the time you're checking has 2 Sundays in it and more sales. But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, imagine that you had a drop shipping store that got the exact same amount of, let's say, you were posting to it with the same amount of regularity. It was constant, right? It wasn't losing viewers or losing items. It had a consistent momentum, right? If you looked at that store, the sales that it produced throughout the year would vary greatly, even if it was identical. The store was the same each month, like
Right.
the same amount of items posted. There's huge fluctuations in the time of year. And so if you don't know when those fluctuations are going to happen, it's really, really, really easy to assume that something's happening because you did something, when really the reality is, okay, nobody's in school anymore, they're buying shit. Like,
Right.
so it goes both ways. Sometimes you can think that an action you did is causing sales to happen when it's not. And also sometimes you can think that something is causing sales to not happen when it isn't.
Right. Like, okay, if I give you the example, let me give you an example where a week may be enough time, right? My brother just started to drop ship a week ago. He's listing 20 items a day. So his first week, he has 100 listings. His second week, he has 200 listings. He just started. His third week, he has 300 listings. If the second week does have less sales than the first week, there is some sort of reason for concern because you have double the amount of listings, right?
Yeah.
So that is one thing. Then, so Jack and I's strategy is a lot different. So because my number of listings, I know what's selling and what's not selling. If I see, so let's say I get 200 sales a week, right? And the week after I get 80 sales a week. My sales drop by more than half. So that will give me reason for concern. Mm-hmm. But I will go look, and a lot of the times what would have happened is, so how my account works is because there's some things that sell every day, every week, every 2 weeks, every month, right? There's a certain chest of drawers that fluctuate from $34.99 to $79.99 on Kmart. Mm-hmm. Every time it drops to $34.99, I sell it for $53.99. And when it's at $53.99, I sell like 3 or 4 a day. Yeah. When it jumps up to $79.99, I sell it for $100, and it sells like once a month.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
and I know, right, so I know, and that could account for like 20 sales in a week.
Yeah.
So if my sales tank, a lot of the times is one of my top sellers are out of stock, one of my top sellers, the price went up.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But to randomly come and say that you change one fucking thing in SKU, and I'm deliberately talking to that one person only because a lot of you guys could take away from what we're talking about to learn from it, right?
Yeah.
So if you're talking about that one fucking change in SKU grid, if that is the only change, it is difficult, and we don't even know how much is the difference in sales. It is difficult to attribute your drop in sales to a change in SKU grid. Like, unless like it changes your pricing or
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pricing will very quickly affect sales.
Right. And then like I could say that 1 week to the next, if I am tracking my weekly sales for like 3 months, right? So if I have 12 weeks straight of 200 sales and the 13th week went down to 80, then I could be like, okay, something changed.
Yeah.
But to randomly decide that like, oh fuck, like try not to
That's
freak
how a lot
out.
of people think though. They think that like when you drop ship, they're like, oh, there's a certain amount you earn a month. And that is kind of true, but it all fluctuates so much.
Yeah, there's a lot
like,
of variables.
Like you could earn $2,000 1 month, and then $600 the next, and then like $5,000 the next. That's very possible in the drop shipping industry.
Exactly,
Like,
and it could be for anything. It could be that you spent a fuck ton of time. Simple example: you spent a fuck ton of time posting dinner sets, right? Mm-hmm. And that's something that sells all year round.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people don't realize is for Thanksgiving, it would sell like crazy. Mm-hmm. And I saw that in my account. So for that, I just happened to list dinner sets because I don't like seasonal stuff.
Yeah.
But it also
I don't
happened to sell like
stuff
crazy for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to analyze, going week to week is very difficult unless you have a lot of weeks of data to compare it to. Mm-hmm. But it is difficult to analyze like this week to next week, unless you draw the line just randomly, like, oh fuck, I made less money this week. I know a lot of you guys who are new would freak out, like I did for 3 fucking years. I'm waiting for the hammer to drop and be like, fuck my business up. But it's just not that simple. I need a haircut. Well, not a haircut because I'm not cutting my hair. Maybe just shave. But yeah.
That I know this is related to something that happened to me yesterday. So I process my orders once per day. So once every 24 hours, right? And so it's pretty common that people will be like, oh, how many sales do you get per day? And like, I say like 10 to 15, but that's an average. Like yesterday, or when I processed orders today, I had 6 to place, right? When I placed my orders at like 8:30 a.m. this morning. But now, like 12 hours later, there have been 12 orders. So in 12 hours, I had twice as many sales as I did in the previous 24-hour period.
Yeah.
And like, that's just the nature of this industry. Like, you're gonna have a lot of fluctuation.
You're gonna have swings. and the crazy thing is, the swings is gonna fuck with your emotions. And that, to me, that is one of the hardest things. Like,
yeah, no, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I used to trade currencies, and I stopped trading currencies because I had heartburn all the time.
Yeah.
Because of the swings. And so now that I'm drop shipping, the swings don't really, it still bothers me, but nowhere as close as much as when I was trading currencies, because my strategy is a little more controlled.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than Jack. How much you have? 80,000 listens now?
Yeah, 80,000.
Yeah, it's a lot different than listening to 80,000 fucking listens from fucking Walmart. But yeah, but it's just whoever said that's bad advice, please like follow that up and explain why. Because advice is something like, because of the internet, like any motherfucker give advice and you don't realize how much you change in the life of someone else.
Yeah.
Because they will take that advice, run with it, and if it's bad advice, they could think that something's wrong with them.
Well, that's what that person thinks about the advice that I gave. So
right, which is okay, but then it comes into like the justification falling up and the rationale behind.
Yeah, don't just say someone's shit. Explain why you think they're shit.
Yeah, well, that is helpful.
Yeah.
If you want to help, do that. If you just want to be an idiot and type on Facebook, fuck off. All right. Anyway.
Sweet. It was good. 12 minutes.
Yeah. Love you guys. Travi will make that money. Subscribe. I'm trying to get to 10,000. I think I crossed 6,800 today.
Nice.
So I'll get to 7,000.
Yeah, very
In the
close.
description, there's a link to Jack's fucking channel. Those of you who don't know, he's a drop shipper as well that posts about drop shipping and Nicaragua and gaming, but he posts a lot of drop shipping content, so it'll be sweet to subscribe. And there's the Honest Drop Shippers group in the description and free training.
Woo!
Later.
Ciao.